Gameplay for today's video is recorded with the Elgato HD 60S. Check out the link in the description if you want to learn more. What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and we have some really cool stuff to talk about today, as Black Ops 4 got a humongous content update with Days of Summer, which actually added way more into the game than any of us were expecting. But as always, zombies got the short end of the stick here. But there is some really interesting stuff with this update, as we now have Perkaholic, near-death experience, shopping free, and raindrops in zombies. When it seemed like Treyarch were really hesitant to adding OP stuff because they wanted to keep the game balanced, unlike Black Ops 3, they were like, screw it, we're near the end of the zombie season, let's let the players have some fun. I do also think these being added into the game is a retaliation to seeing that people just really aren't spending any real money on these consumable elixirs. The classic elixirs are really good and you don't really ever need to use a consumable, and there's been no overpowered ones at all until now. So from that perspective, obviously it sucks having to spend money to really get your hands on these super cool elixirs. Don't worry, your boy spent money, so you don't have to. But let's be real, I spent way more money on this than I expected. So if you enjoy seeing these new elixir effects in the game thanks to my own expense, a like on the video will make me feel somewhat better about this poor life decision. Now, before all the pitchforks are in the comment section moaning about this, they have nerfed some of these to be a little less overpowered than what they were, but they are still really powerful. So let's jump into what everyone wants to know about Perkaholic. How does it work? Well, in the original Black Ops 3, you were given 9 to 10 perks in the map. All the perks that were in that map. Obviously, BO4 is a little bit different as you pick the perks that are in the map. So how does it work? Well, you receive all the loadout perks that you have and 6 random extra perks that are not in your loadout. You cannot stack this with another Perkaholic and it activates immediately. Now, before this, the most I think we could have from an elixir was 8 perks with Perk Up. That used to be an Epic Elixir. Well, Perk Up has now been put down to Legendary because Perkaholic has obviously taken its place. I will admit it does feel amazing to have Perkaholic again in the game, although it's not quite as it was because there's actually like 14 or 15 perks in BO4, and having all of those and having those on the screen I think would be impossible. So the HUD looks really cluttered now with those additional perks, but it's there. And obviously this can't be abused like BO3, as you can't close application to save any of these elixirs. So that's kind of how it balances out in my opinion. We also have shopping free, which is exactly as it was in BO3. All purchases are free and it lasts for 1 minute as soon as you've activated it. So on screen you're seeing me on the map 9 activating it from the spawn and trying to get as many doors open as possible. I think if you had stamina up, you could definitely take advantage of getting most of the map open, as well as buying your other perks super early on. For other maps like Blood of the Dead, this doesn't seem like a very feasible elixir because once you've used it from the first door out of spawn, you will only make it through to the end of the catwalk by the time shopping free runs out. We also have near-death experience returning from BO3, and back in that game, I would easily consider that the most broken gobblegum in the entire game, because on solo, if you took that into a boss fight, you would never ever die because it lasted for 3 rounds, and if the boss fights never push rounds, you're always going to get revived. It has been nerfed in this game. So to remind you what it does, revive or be revived simply by being near other players. Revived players keep all loadout perks after being revived. So if you have Perkaholic and you go down with this, you will be revived, but you will only keep your 4 loadout perks, not the additional 6. And you can bleed out for a while with this, to the point where you have like none of your perks left if you get revived, and once you get revived by near death, you will keep all your perks. Now, the difference here between BO3 is that in BO3 it lasted for 3-4 rounds and that was it. But in this game, it lasts for 10 minutes or 5 revives, so it can't be abused. I'm pretty confident this can't be used in the same way as in BO3 on solo, but you guys can tell me if that's true in the comment section below for your own testing. And last but by no means least, Raindrops is back, where it spawns one of each of the 9 core power-ups with an instant activation. So this does include a free perk as well, and on the map 9 it spawned the really cool perk bottle design that you can get by doing the 3 perk Easter egg. Now what I was interested interested in is, could I combine Perkaholic with Raindrops and Perk Up to get even more perks? But in this footage here, you can see I have Perkaholic, I have 10 perks, and when I pick up that perk bottle, I don't get another perk, which confirms now in Black Ops 4 Zombies, you can only get a maximum of 10 perks at one time. I tried with Perk Up as well, it just didn't give me any other perks. So that's something to keep in mind, but all of the core power-ups are there. The only one that I didn't notice was the Bonfire Sale power-up. And on top of all those Elixir additions, we also have some new weapons that are in the game. We have a S6 Stingray, the Peacekeeper, the Vendetta, the Locust Sniper from BO3, and the Ballistic Knife. Now in the game, I only managed to get the S6 Stingray and the Ballistic Knife, but I can confirm that by upgrading the Ballistic Knife, it does become the Kraus Defibrillator, and you can revive people in co-op just like you could before. The Ballistic Knife is a really badass design now, which I really like. And as for the S6 Stingray, this is a tactical rifle, which really surprised me. Its damage, even non-papped, was surprisingly good, and when it is papped, it becomes super good. But yeah, the Peacekeeper from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 is back in Zombies again, as well as the Locust Sniper Rifle, and this new update also lets you put attachments onto the Grav or the Galil. And the real big thing, of course, with this update as well is a new gauntlet called Labors of Hercules, which is the new gauntlet now for Ancient Evil, featuring 30 unique challenges. I'll be completely honest, gauntlets are not something which attract me anymore. Once you've completed them, there isn't really any replay value with them, and they don't really make me want to go and jump on and do the gauntlet straight away. I'll probably get around to them at some point with friends by all means, as it's something different to do, but it's not something that's grabbing my attention. I'm super excited about it. On top of this, we've also had a few other things like minor bug fixes in Ancient Evil and Dead of the Night, but Treyarch do comment that the team is currently hard at work on even more content for the remainder of Operation Spectre Rising, including the launch of hard mode gauntlets and increased in-game rewards for zombie players. This is something we've been asking for since the beginning of Black Ops 4 Zombies. If there was an incentive for playing the game more, I think a lot more people would play it, because at this point, lots of people are fatigued with the Zombies mode. It's by all means fantastic, and I have no real gripes with Black Ops 4 Zombies. I just, at this point in how long I've played Zombies year on year, there isn't anything that's really grabbing me to continue jumping back into these maps and playing. They don't say anything more besides increased in-game rewards. What do you want these in-game rewards to be? Let me know in the comment section down below, as I'm sure someone from Treyarch is going to be reading these comments. But I think maybe some unique personalization for specific characters would be cool than just the standard war paints, like actual outfits, accessories for the head like hats, sunglasses, maybe even exclusive wonder weapons that are in each map, which can only be obtained by getting these in-game rewards to incentivize people to play more. Treyarch says all hands on deck here to prepare for the return to the Ether story in their next operation in July. They can't wait to share more details soon on where the Zombie Saga is headed in DLC 3. Stay tuned. But I think the only other thing which is on the tip of every zombie player's tongues when it comes to any info on zombies in Black Ops 4 is factions, and unsurprisingly, Treyarch has not mentioned anything about factions within this update. Not one mention whatsoever. I think at this point it's almost becoming a bit of a meme to keep asking Treyarch about factions, because the last time we heard about it was all the way back in January, where they said faction callings is planned to be the most intricate new feature in Black Ops 4 later in 2019, and as such will require the most time to complete the engineering, scripting, implementation and testing needed before going live in the game. Factions are designed to feature a full season of 12 unique challenge events across all zombie maps and game modes that reward players who've never before seen character customization loot. Completing each event will culminate in faction-based narrative reveals that flesh out the Zombies universe even further. With DLC 3 launching at the start of July, it really doesn't seem like much point for them to actually release the factions mode in this game, because it sounded like something which they wanted on release to be a full season thing to go through all the DLC maps and have this really cool narrative that builds up throughout the time of all of us zombie fans playing. It's no secret that behind the scenes Treyarch are hard at work on Black Black Ops 5, so in all honesty, if Factions isn't ready at this point, they might as well just put it in Black Ops 5 Zombies, because by the sounds of it, it sounds like a feature that is so ambitious that they just ran out of resources to actually be able to do it. The real nitty-gritty of game development is exactly like that. They might have these great ambitious plans, but they sadly fall through because they simply don't have enough people on the Zombies team and enough resources to be able to dedicate that much time to it. Hopefully Treyarch at some point communicate with us about what exactly is happening with Factions, because I think even just some sort of official statement will probably please most of the community. That's just a look at what Zombies got with this update. Multiplayer and Blackout got so much more. They got a brand new multiplayer map, a remaster of Grind from Black Ops 2, as well as like 5 different weapons or so, but unfortunately 4 of them are in reserve crates, and the chances of getting those are very slim unless you're willing to use your wallet to open those crates. It's super unfortunate because looking from a Zombies perspective, it must be frustrating that we can use all these cool new weapons out of the box straight away, but if people want to use these weapons in multiplayer, they need to get them out of supply drops. It's a really unfortunate system, and I really hope Activision hear the outcry from this, because every time there's a big multiplayer update with weapons that are locked behind reserves, everyone just goes mental. And surely there's only so many times something like that can happen before we get to the straw that breaks the camel's back. Nevertheless, let me know what you think of this update down below in the comments section, and what your thoughts are on these super OP elixirs now in Zombies. If you want to find out about the DLC 3 release date as well as what we predict the map to be, you can check that video out linked on your screen right now, as well as a video talking all about COD Modern Warfare multiplayer and how exactly crossplay between PC, PS4 and Xbox is going to work, as well as rounding up everything we know so far about multiplayer. But if you enjoyed the video, a like would be super appreciated. Subscribe with a bell for more videos like this. I'll catch you next time.